Today, in this video, I wanted to share where that feeling you get sometimes when you meet someone and you have this curiosity around, have we met before? I've experienced it many a times, and I'm sure I can guarantee that at some point in time in your life, someone goes, I met somebody that reminded me of you. Or, and then you, like, this has also happened where that's been shared with me, and then I have the opportunity to meet the person that they thought that I reminded them of, and I'm like, how in the actual fuck do you think that that's me? There's like almost an aversion, right? Like, that's not me. How could you possibly think that that is me? So, a new level of awareness, a new level of knowing presented itself to me, I don't know, let's say 3 or 4 months ago. And albeit I run a business and I have a spiritual practice, it is thehealinghill.com, and I am called to make these videos and share my light with you. My business is not at a point just yet to fully sustain me. And so I do have a muggle job or a normal job. And that I started looking for in January. And I think it was February when I started this a part-time job in the evenings. I am a server. I wait tables at a restaurant. And so after I'd gotten the job, before I started work, there was a component of orientation. And in the orientation, and it was a small group, 6 of us maybe. And there was a gentleman, like I was at one end of the L, and imagine he was at the other end of the L. And I remember the moment I saw him, we kind of both cocked our head to the side and smiled. And then later we had some group work to do, and the first thing he said, he goes, "Do I know you from somewhere? Have we met before?" And immediately in my heart, I knew that we hadn't met in this lifetime, but that we had absolutely spent lifetimes before together. It was just it was a psychic hit, an instant knowing. And I've since then been able to discern that, albeit reincarnation is absolutely, whether you believe in it or not, no one ever really dies. So maybe your level of awareness isn't there yet, and that's okay. Because if I watched this video that I'm making of myself, even, let's say, maybe 5 years ago would be okay, but let's say 7 years ago, I would have pushed skip almost immediately. Because the words that I'm saying wouldn't have resonated with me then, like they do today. So if you find resonance, it's because we're vibrate at the same frequency. If you don't find resonance, that's okay. We just don't vibrate at the same resonance or frequency. But I will tell you this, something that has been my greatest teacher is, if something I'm saying pisses you off, if it annoys you, dig in. It's an opportunity to heal something. Nothing that I say or do should ever trigger you. You give life meaning. You give your experience of life meaning. So somebody could tell you you're an idiot, and if somebody said that to me, I'd say, whatever. I know I'm not an idiot, so whatever. Whatever someone says to you, even if it's about you, is never about you. It's just a projection of their own inner world spilling out into the shared reality. So what I have known to be true, though, is specifically about reincarnation, is I heard this analogy years ago on Oprah, and I can't remember who it was that she had on her show, but today it makes clear sense. When I heard it the first time, it made zero sense. So I'm gonna spit this game, and then you're gonna decide how it resonates. Your higher self is like, and all of your past lives, Imagine being like a fleet of ships. And you've got a main ship, which is your higher self. It's larger than the other ones. And then you've got this fleet of boats. And when the boats get too far away, it's almost like, that means they're kind of, wavering off course, and they've got to get called back in a little bit. And how I describe that today with reincarnation is every time we reincarnate, albeit we have a different avatar, we might be male, we may be female, we might be short, tall, have a handicap. Again, think about the variety of people and how they look and how all different we are. And different is beautiful. We don't all want to be the same. How fucking boring would that shit be? But regardless of the avatar, the imprint of the soul, my signature, the signature of my soul, never wavers. And I'm going to give you an example of how you're like that. Okay, you just lost me, Tiffany. Cool. So imagine you're in a dream. And in the dream, you're driving a car. And you know that we'll go with your best friend from when you were little is in the car with you. You never see them in the dream. You just know that they were there. How'd you know that they were there? How did you know? Because their soul has an imprint. And so that is how, when you meet someone that you have never met before and you go, have we met before? There's a familiarity to their essence. There is a familiarity to their presence. And here's the thing, is not everybody, this is something that I had to learn. It is so unreasonable for you to think that everybody is evolving in the same direction and at the same clip that you are. So just because you have a knowing about something doesn't mean the other person does. And let's say, and why I'm sharing that is let's say you meet somebody and you immediately want to say something like, oh, we've lived past lives together. That other person could think, what is a past life? And so what I'm getting to is that sometimes these little nuggets of truth, your truth, are just for you. And so even though you're engaging and you're having, human experience with this other person, it doesn't mean you have to necessarily even share the truth that you know about the existence that you had with them. Sometimes, depending on what your gifts are in this lifetime, you may know that they killed you in a past life or did something really traumatizing to you in the past life. How many times does this happen when you meet somebody and you go, I don't know why, but I just don't like them? I've experienced it. And the old version of Tiffany was like, everybody has to like you. No. You aren't going to be liked by everybody, and not everybody is going to like you. You've got to learn to accept that. And so there's also, we've got to learn how to trust our inner compass when we meet somebody and it's like, ooh, I don't have a good feeling. Then run. Get the fuck away from that person, because you're not supposed to be engaging with them. There's a reason we have feelings, for a reason. Now, can sometimes our feelings be out of alignment with reality? 100%. But I would say more often than not, we need to learn how to trust ourselves as opposed to dismissing the initial feeling that we have. So yeah, I just wanted to share that today, that have we met before? Yes, we absolutely have met before. May not have been in this lifetime, but souls don't forget the signature of another soul. There is an essence associated to this being that we are. And, like I said, the best example that I could give is when you're in a dream and you're like, I know this person was there and this person was there and this person was there. I didn't see them, but I knew that they were there. It's the same thing that I'm talking about. It's like if you put two people in a room, but there was a divider between the two of them, would you be able to feel the essence of that other person? Depending on your level of awareness, you absolutely could. It's like, this will be another example. We're talking about human beings, but how is it that your dog knows when you're going to be home every fucking day, even if you're home at a different time? There's an energy associated to your presence that they can feel that we don't have the ability to do necessarily. Sometimes we do, but we've, especially in Western society, there's this pressure and programming to like separate ourselves from our true nature. We're animals, dude. We are primal beings that we've learned how to put a napkin on our lap and use a fork and a knife. But like, there was a time when we ate everything with our bare hands, and that part of us still exists. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Have you met somebody before that the moment you met them, it was like, it's like soulmates, right? I didn't understand that we could have multiple soulmates, multiple. And what I truly believe about soulmates is that every single person could be a soulmate of yours depending on how healed you are. Because all that soulmates do is reflect back to you aspects of yourself that you already hold but you don't see. There's a love there. That's how I think about soulmates. So, the more that we can find, I guess, commonality with one another, and I'm not saying you got to be kumbaya, but just to be able to exist in society and exist in this reality without being annoyed and triggered and frustrated and, angry, whatever those low vibrational emotions are when, that are generated when you start to have relationships with other people. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching.